So to have it unfold now with a little bit of momentum, Hoisington's won 3 in a row. Pratt is showing maybe they're not completely unstoppable. They are human, losing last week. And in the back of the mind, like Hoisington's got to be thinking, they got beat by 50 points.
He can run the ball, he can throw, he's got a great arm, really good arm strength, and that's something you can't really teach. I mean, especially when they're a senior, muscle memory's all set. But he actually surprises people with his legs, which is another good thing. He's been doing very well.
Suddenly, the Chiefs look like they missed Tyreek Hill for the first time against Indianapolis. Denver is maybe the worst 2-1 I've ever seen in my entire life. The Raiders are the only 0-3 team in the entire NFL. And the Chargers just got obliterated at home by Jacksonville. The AFC West may prove to be the most stunningly overrated division that we've ever seen.
The Chiefs have built up so much goodwill in my mind, and I think in the mind of so many fans, is they can stink once. They're going to have to stink like 3 or 4 times in a row for me to start to believe that Eric Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce aren't going to be able to figure out a way how to effectively attack opposing defense.
When you talk about the brand is the toughest, hardest working, most competitive team in the country. And I think, tough, hardworking, and competitive is a great way to live your life.
Swing and a line drive to center field. Mitchell on the move. He jumps up and he can't get it, and it's a home run. It's over the wall. It may have hit the top of the wall, but it's a home run to center field for Andrew Kisner, and the Cardinals lead 4-0.
The 0-2 swinging a line drive up the middle. Base hit. Tigers win. Kreidler crosses home plate, and Hinton Harold does it again.
Hinton Harold breaks the hearts of Royals fans last night.
For the 91st time this year or something, right?
Hinton Harold. Welcome to Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Steve Webster in with you. It is the Wednesday show. Reminder, no show tomorrow. Tiger baseball. If there is a rain out, Mike Hesher will host the show by himself from
Royals baseball tomorrow. Are we covering the Tigers now?
Did I say Tigers?
You did say Tigers, didn't he? He wasn't listening. Okay, sorry. It is Royals baseball.
It's Tigers baseball tomorrow. They're playing the Royals.
Are we going to listen to Ernie Harwell?
No.
Oh.
I don't think Ernie's still walking around.
Ernie passed away, yes.
Okay, all right. Golly, going right there to start the show off today. Okay, the program today, it is, so since we have no show tomorrow, that means we talk Panther football a day earlier. Erin Beck's going to be in with us today. Junior linebacker and offensive lineman Matthew Johnson. The voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock. And on the prowl, Mike Corson. Talking Panther volleyball today. Shelly Duvall, head coach, is in or will be in, and juniors Sadie Spray and Lauryn Davis.
Big week coming up. Thursday, tomorrow night, Dodge City. Big tournament this weekend at home.
How many teams are going to be here this weekend?
Only 5, but some good ones. Phillipsburg's always good. Hutchins ranks dropped down to 5/8, so rematch because Great Bend will play all the other 4 schools.
Is Smith Center here?
They are coming, or they're going to play at another time.
Okay. All right, very good. So that's our show lineup today, so let's get started here on the program. We always like to start off with sounds of the past 24 hours, and we like our people to listen to that so they know, but Mike Hesher's just scrambling around here, so he got most of them. So we'll go ahead and get started today. Our first one, 68-18. That was the score last year. Yeah. That was the score last year.
Pratt Hoisington.
Correct.
Okay.
One of the things that surrounds tomorrow night's game at Elton Brown Field.
Friday night's game. I'm just correcting you all over the place. He's going to shut my mic off. I got you on live.
Friday night's game in Hoisington. Cole Rife can't wait. That's the biggest game, Mike, around besides Great Bend and Dodge City. I mean, as far as the area schedules go tomorrow. Cole can't wait. 2 3-1 teams. Maybe some of the shine came off the penny, maybe a little bit from Pratt after they got beat by Cheney, 43-24. But but people weren't expecting much. Well, they got beat by Kingman. I think Kingman's really good. I'm continuing to carry that banner. Good matchup, man. 3-1. Pratt Hoisington, an old MSAA rivalry getting going tomorrow. Friday.
You can put it. So Hoisington seems to have that game because he loses a big class every year. So last year they open with a big loss to Pratt, win 8 straight. This year they get beat by Heston, and they've kind of throttled some teams that probably aren't terrible. So it's a good time for them to meet, but I don't know that you'd want to play Pratt when they lose, but Hoisington has proven over the years that they get stronger after that first week.
Yeah, and I don't think Zach Baird's let him forget about 68-18.
So it's kind of an interesting, Pratt's coming off a loss, but Hoisington's probably thinking about that a little bit.
Yeah, and that's always the thing that goes into it. I don't think I ever remember saying, boy, they beat us last year. I'm going to try harder this week. I don't think that ever factors in as much as maybe we think it does, but it's one of those things you think about when you're ahead and you're going into victory formation late in a football game. Then you remember it. We're going to try harder because they beat us last year.
They weren't going to try before.
Yeah, exactly. So they're motivated now. So, Friday night, Elton Brown. Who's going to be homecoming queen, Hash?
I have no idea.
What are the early numbers in?
I went to a Hoisington volleyball match last night, and I know nobody on that team. I've been gone for 8 years. That's a couple cycles through the high school. I'm like, who are these young ladies?
You're probably wondering who's that old man up there. Who's down here stalking our volleyball?
I was upstairs watching, okay? I have enough trouble with it. Okay, never mind.
All right, we had Stafford head coach Mitch Engelken on the show yesterday, and by the time I got rid of done fawning over Baileyville B&B and the glory days of that high school, we got in and talked a little bit of football. Dylan Gantz is their quarterback. He's passed for 880 yards in the first 4 games, 12 touchdowns. Has had 12 picks, but we're nitpicking. Okay, they'll play St. John tomorrow. Those two teams, if I had more time and our research department wasn't off today, I would have found out when the last time they did play. But St. John goes down to Division II this year, so they're playing again in football.
How far apart are they on highway?
10.1 miles, Mike.
Okay, thank you.
I have no idea.
Check that. It's closer.
It's closer than 10.1 miles?
Well, if you take that cutoff, it's
okay, sorry.
I think I'm going to go 10.1
Just
on that.
shut my mic off so I don't talk anymore.
We enjoy it when you talk. We don't want to exclude you. Okay, something that Hesh referenced yesterday, and I think it was when we were talking about baseball, he brought this point up about the AFC West. It's the toughest division in football. Hasn't showed that so far.
Did we say it was going to be the toughest or the most competitive?
What do you think? I mean, I think everyone's saying it's going to be the toughest division in the NFL.
You heard me in the hallway with my hot take of the year. Derek Carr's the best quarterback in the league. 0-3.
You didn't say that.
I was kidding, but
yeah, of course.
I didn't expect him to go 0-3.
And what was Russell Wilson Sunday? Like 8 out of 24 for 150?
9 3-and-outs, but they won the ball game.
They won the ball game.
They rolled, according to your Denver Bronco fan.
Exactly.
So anyway, Kansas City will take on the Buccaneers Sunday somewhere.
Maybe.
Why don't they play in Hoisington?
Elton Brown
Memorial
Field.
Stadium.
There you
down
go.
Here in Great Bend. The Broncos visit the Raiders.
That could be interesting. I'm looking forward to that game.
The Raiders, could they fall to 0-4?
And it's in L.A. or it's in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the Chargers head to Houston to take on the Texans. Okay, Dominique Foxworth, ESPN NFL analyst, said the Chiefs have earned the benefit of the doubt. You can stink once if you're the Chiefs. How many times can the Chiefs stink before, well, Dr. Doom's already off the bandwagon. We'll see how they come out. The Buccaneers, good defense. This is going to be a solid challenge. The Chiefs don't want to lose 2 in a row.
What have we had? One undefeated team since Don Shula? So it's
and they didn't finish the year.
They didn't finish undefeated.
Yeah.
Well, fact check. So you've got
the Patriots lost to the Giants. The Patriots were undefeated and lost to the Giants.
Right. So
in the Super Bowl.
So the last undefeated wasn't the Dolphins?
Was the Dolphins, yes.
So it's been a while.
Okay.
You've
72.
Got longer than I thought. More parity than ever, so it's just crazy to think that they're going to go 17-0. So, of course, they're going to lose the game. So
they're going to go 14-5, just like I said. Joey McGuire, Texas Tech head coach. His new brand that he wants to bring to Texas Tech is the toughest team in college football. Hey, they beat Texas last week. Now they play the other team in the conference. They came up with a big upset, and that was Kansas State. Texas Tech's been a lot better than I thought they were going to be.
Seems to me Mike Leach was trying to make those kids tough by having them hang out in a shed, and he got fired.
We'll ask Erin Beck if he has a shed for the guys. I don't think he probably does. Okay, a couple play-by-play calls. KMOX last night. Andrew Kisner hitting a home run. That gave the Cardinals a 4-0 lead. St. Louis clinches the National League Central 6-2. And the Royals hitting Harold Castro. Singles to center field, and that was the winner. Tigers beat the Royals.
He also had the game-tying hit as well as the game-winning hit.
Right, in the 8th inning. That's why they're calling him hitting Harold.
And was he hitting probably 235?
Against the Royals, he was hitting Harold last night.
Okay. Dozier hit a home run. He pointed up to the sky either for Hesher or for Dayton Moore.
He's coming on strong just when you don't need him.
Well,
let's fighted him.
Let's see. Sports headlines today. Soccer yesterday. Great Bend going to Garden City. Another tough one. Panthers struggling right now. They got beat 10-0. They'll get a week off now. They have live prep coming up on Tuesday.
Those Western schools, I thought Dodge would be weaker this year, but they've been putting it on people, and evidently Garden City's up there too.
And then they've still got the doubleheader against Liberal coming up, right? Or they finish the second half, then they play.
Yeah,
okay. High school football Friday, since, as Hesh reminded me, tomorrow is not Friday. It is Thursday. Great Bend Panthers, Dodge City, Memorial Stadium. Aaron, do they still have the devil head on the water tower? That goes back away. The Red Demon? Okay, all right, because there's a big controversy. They're going to wanted to take it off there for a while. Okay, under the Red Demon on the water tower. Great Bend and Dodge City. We're going to get all over that game here in just a moment. Hayes plays at Ulysses, Garden City at Liberal. That's in the Western Athletic Conference. We talked about the game at Elton Brown Field. Pratt and Hoisington. Cimarron, who lost 2-0 last week, they play at Larned. The Indians a chance to go to 3-2 on the season. Unbeaten Ellsworth, they haven't been scored on in 3 games. They may extend that to 4 tomorrow night. They play at Lions. Ellenwood is at Conway Springs. Conway Springs, I don't think I ever remember the record being 1-3. Ellenwood is 2-2. Russell, well, they've had a murderous schedule so far. Now they get TMP on the rebound from losing to Scott City. So Russell 2-2 at TMP, 3-1. Some 8-man games tomorrow. Sylvan Lucas, or Friday. Let me shut your mic up, okay? Because I know that it's just killing you not to correct me here. These are Friday games, not tomorrow. Sylvan Lucas at Central Plains, Dighton at Otis Bison, Maxville at Ness City, Stafford is at St. John, Skyline at La Crosse Central Christian at Kinsley, Victoria. They may be better than they were last year. At Wilson, Hodgman County, at Buckland. Your 6-man games, Cunningham at Pawnee Heights, and Southern Cloud is at Chase. Big 12 games on Saturday, Texas Tech and Kansas State. That's another ESPN Plus game. Starts at 11, Bill Snyder Family Stadium. Another 11 a.m. game, Oklahoma at TCU. That's on ABC. Oklahoma State at Baylor. Both teams are ranked. Oklahoma State 9th, Baylor 16th, 2:30 on Fox. Iowa State at Kansas, ESPN 2 at 2:30. And West Virginia plays at Texas, 6:30. And that will be on FS1. Okay, Mike. Turn your mic back on again.
As a student, didn't you always like to correct the teacher? That's all I'm doing.
That's why you were in the office a lot at Larned, at Larned Middle School.
And the high school.
You made it that far?
Yes, I did make it that far.
That's all right.
But the high school was at the state hospital, so I don't know what that means.
All right, okay. There are your sounds. There are your headlines here on a Wednesday. Coming up next, we'll talk Panther football as Erin Beck is in with us today. Junior linebacker, offensive lineman Matthew Johnson. All coming up. Gerard Wellbrock voiced the Fort Hays State Tigers later on, and Panther volleyball head coach Shelly Duvall and junior Sadie Spray and Lauryn Davis here on the Wednesday show.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence-driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the Fieldhouse at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
One of the great advantages about online classes is you can take them anywhere. I would sit in my room, still in my robe from waking up, and I just try to focus on my classes. From Barton, I kind of took a range of classes from accounting, history, and I took PE1 and PE2 through Barton. They transferred pretty incredible. It helped save money, and it helped save some time, too. Just to think that you can live really anywhere and take these classes, I think it's pretty cool.
Hey folks, this is Trey Bergen with Ag 360 Insurance in St. John. We are an independent agency offering several types of insurance, including crop, farm, irrigation, business, personal, and life. We would appreciate an opportunity to earn your business. Feel free to stop by our office at 103 East 4th Avenue in St. John, or give us a call at 620-549-3579. You can also check us out online at ag360insurance.com.
Suzanne here with My Favorite Furnishings in Larned. Furnishings is in our name, but we also carry a huge line of Speed Queen washers and dryers, GE appliances including ranges, refrigerators, dishwashers, freezers, and so much more. We also have one of the largest selections of carpet and flooring around. Luxury vinyl tile or planks are in hot demand now, and we have both in stock, ready for you to pick out, take home, and install, or have one of our professional installers do it for you. Come find your new appliances, flooring, and yes, furniture at My Favorite Furnishings in Larned.
It's time to talk great Bend High School football with head coach Erin Beck here on Sports Day.
Welcome back to Sports Day here on KBGB. It is Wednesday. I'm trying to figure this out, Erin, okay? So, welcome in. Good to see you guys again.
Well, thank you. We're getting, I guess, used to this Wednesday edition here.
Yeah, okay.
With Royals baseball still happening, so let's keep the streak going.
Okay. Matthew Johnson also in. Matthew, thanks for coming in today.
Yep.
So what class are you missing right now?
I'm missing just aiding.
Oh, okay.
He's aiding for Mrs. Mater right now, so I'm
okay. Good. I don't want to infringe on your educational opportunities. We don't like to do that here on the program. Erin, congratulations. You want to go out and get a win, but man, solid 45-0. You take control early and just 45-0 at the end of 3. Good win.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those games where you kind of felt like after you kind of drive the length of the field and punch that first one in and get that onside kick that you kind of felt like you stole the momentum from that game and kind of felt we were in control of that from the get-go. So it was nice to have one of those types of games. Haven't had one of those in a while. To get the shutout for these guys I know was huge too as a defense. So overall, we're happy we made it out healthy and get to 2-2 and on to the next one.
Yeah, it's kind of the season really has opened up right now, isn't it? I mean, it's all out there for you.
Yeah, it really has. That's kind of what I told these kids on Monday during our meeting is that if you could have told me 2-2 after week 4, I think we would have taken it, because we knew that those first 3 games were tough ones, and to come out 500 at this point of the season, heading into kind of the meat of our schedule with WAC play. We would have taken it. So happy where we're at, happy where our kids are, happy where you just kind of feel that these kids have really come together. You can just sense it in the way they prepare, the way they have each other's backs. The unity is pretty cool to see in the locker room right now.
Matthew Johnson with us here on Sports Day as well. Matthew, you had to get ready for 2 game plans, one on offense, one on defense. Talk about the defensive game plan that you went into, and how do you think you executed it?
We went into that defensive game knowing that they're going to run a bunch of different fronts. They didn't really pull. They had a pretty big offensive line, so we knew it was just going to be pretty basic guard reads as linebackers. And when they opened up that holes, you got to hit it hard and stop the play.
Well, you did a good job. You shut them out. So offensively, what were you expecting from them defensively? And obviously, you were moving pretty well.
Offensively, we just kept running the ball down their throats, and when we could get the ball to Braylon or Maddox on that slant, we tried, and we did. We executed that, and the offensive game plan was just to run the ball down their throats and see what could happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was a pretty simple one, really, from the get-go. Once we were able to establish that line of scrimmage with guys like Matthew up front, it made life pretty easy as an offense. So that was good to see. That was good to see Cody and Charmin being able to run the football and even Cameron Studi the way they did. It's always best to be able to run the football and keep that clock rolling because that was probably the quickest game we've ever been a part of, as far as not only getting the running clock, but just being able to run the football.
Talk about the atmosphere. Patrick kind of talked about it. You're out there at Wichita Heights, and you kind of had to create your own atmosphere a little bit.
Yeah, weird. It did not feel like a high school atmosphere, especially from what we've just been accustomed to. You know, obviously here in Great Bend at the Memorial Stadium, but even going, to McPherson, you just you kind of get that sense of community, and that wasn't the case with them. It was also their homecoming, which is kind of wild to think they had to travel up the road, 20, 30 minutes to go to Wichita Heights for their homecoming. So sometimes it's always a little different feel in those City League schools. These guys getting waved down wands, the clear bag policy, all that kind of stuff. It's just a little different change for us also.
It's for the radio men, too, when you got to open up that case, what is in there? There's a lot of cords here, so, yeah, you get used to that. Erin, you played football at a smaller school, and it had, for your hometown. And, Matthew, you're getting a chance to do that, too, and you go to these other places. Do you ever tell the kids how lucky they are to play at a high school that has one name on the front of it?
It's so true, and I think these kids, they all realize it as well. When they get the opportunity to play in front of our fans in our stadium, to lift weights in our weight room and go to our locker room like it, they have it pretty nice, and I think they know that, and they enjoy the opportunity to play in front of our community and have one high school in this town, especially a town this size. You love that about Great Bend, that there's just one of us. We're all Great Bend Panthers, so it is pretty special.
When did you start getting hooked on Panther football, Matthew?
Fourth grade, our PKFL team was the Panthers, so I've always been a Great Bend Panther since day one of football. Even our flag football team, I'm pretty sure, was the Panthers. So
tell me about some of your coaches. You have some good ones down there?
Yeah, in PKFL we had Troy Griffith. He was our head coach, and Rob Lyles is our defensive head coach, which we were all pretty good back then. And until Troy moved to Washington, and then when we went to middle school, we lost our quarterback, so we had to bring in a couple new guys to step up. But even in middle school, we had some good coaches too.
Yeah, Matthew's got some Panther blood running through him too. His half brother. Alex Deist is his half-brother, so he was an offensive lineman for the Panthers back in, 14, 15, around that time.
Yeah, he graduated in 16.
Yeah, so when you remember you're wearing your first Panther gear?
I've always worn it. It's always been a part of me.
Okay, you're getting ready to take on Dodge City. This is a big game coming up on Friday night, not tomorrow, Friday night, in Dodge City, Memorial Stadium. Is there a comfort level that you get at all when you get back into conference play? I mean, you probably know these guys pretty well.
Yeah, I would say it's not as necessary a comfort level, but the intensity definitely picks up. It's a WAC game. We haven't won a WAC game in quite a while, so we're looking to get one of those. And it's going to be an intense game. It's going to be a dogfight till the end.
What have you been working on this week? And of course, you go both ways, so we'll go ahead and talk about on the offensive side of the ball. What are some things that you're working on that you'll need to do well to get that win at Dodge City?
Up front on the O-line, we're going to have to be aggressive. They have some pretty big guys up front. They play hard. We're going to have to just match their intensity and even go above it to get Cody outside or Caden on the run, or give Caden enough time to get the ball out. And on defense, they got even bigger guys on the O-line, so we got to read their pulls, and they give away some of their stuff. So it'll be just all about reading that and reading guards.
What do they do offensively that you're really locked in on?
The linebackers were always locked in on the guards, and maybe sometimes the fullback on the backside, we can read where they're aligned, and they usually take us to the play. So if we can read the guards and the fullback, then they'll take us right to the play.
What's it mean when you get back into conference play for you, Erin?
Well, the opposite of what you said. It becomes a little less uneasy, because these are teams that are just so familiar with us as coaches and with us as a team. And, you go down to a team like Wichita, and we have dummy signalers, we have cards, we have so many different things to try to disguise the opponent. Well, you don't really have to do that when you go play a City League team. Well, now here all of a sudden we're back in conference. So these coaches know us. These kids know each other. I mean, MJ and a lot of these guys wrestle against these guys during the winter or play basketball against them. So there's a familiarity there, but you know that you're going to get a team in Dodge City that's so well coached and fundamentally sound, and they're going to line it up and just play football the way that it's meant to be played, and that's exciting. That's something you like to see and prepare as a coach, but it's always gets a little ramped up when you play a team like Dodge, and Dodge is a team that kind of asked what they do. They run the football. They're about a 70-30 team. Coach O'Neill, he's been around a long time. He was at Scott City there for a long time. I think he even coached with Coach Arnold back in the day at Scott City. So then he went up to Seaman and had some success, and now he's back at Dodge City. So they're an old school wing T type team now. They'll get in a little bit of spread, but for the most part, that's what they want to do is line it up in wing T.
And Dodge City people like that. You know, they want to go back to the old Dick Masters days. Just run the foot. Everybody ran the same offense back then. It's just who ran it better. But as you look at the tape from Liberal, 23-15, they win it last Friday night. What did you take away from that?
Well, kind of a wild game. You know, Dodge City jumped out 17-0, and Liberal drove the length of the field right before half and got a big score. And then in the process of that drive, they lost their quarterback, so then Liberal had to come back out the second half with kind of a new game plan, and it was to run the football, and they were able to do that and got close, got a couple valiant efforts, but just ran out of downs, and Dodge City kind of escaped that one after leading 17-0. So I'm sure Dodge City is kind of gone back to the drawing board a little bit this week. I know Coach O'Neill will have those guys fired up and ready to go. You kind of see Dodge City, Liberal, and us kind of in that all in that same type of pack right now. You know, with Hayes being up top, beating Garden and us, they're kind of up there with Garden. But then I think these next 2 weeks are really big for all three of our programs.
What do you think of Liberal?
A lot better. You know, they got a new coach as well, and you could kind of tell. You could just kind of tell their demeanor as they broke the huddle, as they lined up on the ball. You could just tell they had a little bit more discipline, a little bit more juice. So, they've definitely improved.
Isn't it funny? Just a coach can come in and change that whole culture. I mean, just little things like you were talking about. Somebody comes in as new, and all of a sudden they're better.
Yeah, you know? and I think that sometimes is true. That you see across the state. It doesn't matter the level. You see it on Saturdays and Sundays as well. That look what the Miami Dolphins are doing. You know, it sometimes just that little change will get things going for them. And I think Liberal's making some steps in the right direction, and I know these guys are as well. And I think most of that starts with these guys right here. Guys like Matthew Johnson that are able to bring this team together, and he's a junior captain for us, which is a pretty big deal. So,
how do you choose your captains, Aaron?
It's kind of a combination of coaches, kids. We find out who's the guys that we want to lead. I've done it different every year, and this year was pretty easy. It was pretty easy for me to find the top four that we wanted to represent us on Friday nights.
Matthew, what's that mean to you to be a junior captain?
It's a really great feeling. I mean, I walked into summer weights and just wanted to work my butt off. It was a pretty bad feeling last year not getting the seniors a win and seeing them all sad that last game. So I walked in just wanting to get better, our team get closer. I think that's what we lacked last year, is just being a unit and just getting closer this year with our football team and getting to know each other, working together. And being a captain for that is amazing. I get to lead the team out on the field. They listen to me. It's just a really good feeling.
And when you're a captain, I guess that's part of the leadership, just what you do is not what you say, right?
Yeah, and walking out on the field to go for the coin toss, that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
And, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this about MJ. MJ's the type of kid that, like you said, it's not about what you say, it's about what you do. And this kid puts it all out there on the field. Every play, you can just tell he's very relentless in his effort, and it doesn't matter the score. He's trying to do everything he can. I think there was one that broke late in that game last Friday, and number 54, starting offensive lineman, linebacker is sprinting to the pylon not to let that baby go, to keep that shutout off the board. So that's the type of stuff you'd love to see from these guys.
Erin Beck, Matthew Johnson in with us here on Sports Day today. Panthers at Dodge City on Friday night. Patrick Burnett, Jason Perry will have the call for you on B1043 The Point. Matthew, what would it mean to you and your teammates to go out there and get a win at Dodge and all of a sudden be 3-2 looking down the last 4 weeks of the season?
It would be a great feeling to go out there and beat Dodge, just get our first WAC win in 2 years, and then putting us up there above Liberal and Dodge, and then coming to Liberal coming to us for our homecoming game. We're even going to be more amped up. It's going to be a home atmosphere. If we got that win, it would be looking really good for us.
Erin, what's it going to take for the Panthers to get that win Friday?
Well, it's going to take you making sure you wear that maroon shirt, and you did. So step one, check.
One down.
Okay.
Got the pressure's off.
Woo! Yes. It'll be the physical game. We kind of said that from the get-go. It is, like you said, it's a little old school football. Line it up. They're going to try to run the football. We know they're going to try to run the football, and that's the mark of a good team. We've said that on this show before. When the other team knows you're going to run it, can you stop it? And that's what we're going to have to be able to do. So it'll all start up front. And then offensively, it's just staying on schedule, making sure we give our offense, our defense a chance to rest, a chance to regroup, because Dodge will turn out some first downs. That's kind of their MO. So offensively, we got to make sure we capitalize on our opportunities we have to put points up on the board. So it's going to be a fun game, and looking forward to it.
Well, Erin, I appreciate you guys coming in. You bring a different player each week. It's been so cool to meet these guys, and they're so well-spoken. Wow. I wasn't going to give you any pressure coming in and say, yeah, you're just as good as the other guys coming in here. And, man, this show's been so fun. Appreciate you bringing guys, and Mike Corson's doing a fabulous job with the Panther on the prowl with Mike Corson, and it's going pretty good.
I love listening to all the kids talk. You get to see them all the time on the court and on the field and stuff, but to hear them behind that mic, they do such a good job. So very proud of all of them.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take a break. Coming up, talk about On the Prowl. We've got one of those segments coming up. We're talking volleyball. Shelly Duvall and Sadie Spray, Lauryn Davis, all with us here on the Wednesday edition.
To be the king of the road, you have to fill with the king of diesels. We're talking about Cenex Premium Diesel. It comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn. Cenex Roadmaster XL even cleans up and prevents injector fouling to keep your trucks out of the shop and on the road. And typical number 2 diesel? That's always an option. A wrong option. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact the Great Bend Co-op Fuel Department, your certified Cenex distributor today.
At People's Bank and Trust, we value our customers. We know you have plenty of choices for your mortgage loans, but we think we have what you're looking for, relationship banking. And if you're considering refinancing or purchasing a new home, check our competitive rates before you make that change. Your payments will be made at home, and you'll receive good personalized service. That's how we've established many long-lasting relationships. Make a change, know your lender, and make your payments at home with People's Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Every year, hundreds of people die on Kansas roads. Be aware of your surroundings. Read all traffic signs. Always wear your seatbelt. Keep your eyes on the road. Every child needs to be properly restrained. Slow down. These simple steps can help save your life. A message from the Kansas Department of Transportation and this station.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taking place at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Corson, today joined by 2 Great Bend High School volleyball players. We've got junior Sadie Spray and Lauryn Davis. Girls are coming off a fun trip to Tonganoxie. How was that for you?
It was fun. We didn't do how we expected to do, but nothing you can really do about that.
And the Lady Panthers went 2-3 at the tournament. We've had hitters in here. We've had blockers. We've had defensive specialists. Today, 2 setters. Sadie Spray is the main setter. And Sadie, we were talking before. I always want to know where the ball is going. How do you know where the ball is going?
Well, before each play, like when the team is about to serve, I'll tell my hitters, like, hey, let's run a 4, let's run a 3. And so we have our little hand signals that we do before. And then in the moment, if it's a good pass, then maybe we'll change it up and I'll hear my backside go, hey, 666, which is a quick ball. So it just really depends on how the pass is going and what we decide to do before the play starts.
And you've got all kinds of variables going there. You've got the pass off the back row. You've got where your blockers are on the other side of the net. No audibles really in volleyball, but are there any split-second decisions on if something has to change at the last minute?
Yeah, so if my initial play was to run a 6 with, say, Kara in the backside, and then a pass goes to the 10-foot line, then, well, I can't really set her a 6 there, so then I'll say go 4, and then Riley will be on the outside.
And Lauryn, you got to do some setting this weekend. You're also a defensive specialist. What is your role as the number 2 setter?
Typically, I'm just like, if I know Sadie isn't doing like her top, I'll go up to her and be like, hey, this is what you're doing. You need to like, because like I know like the function of setting and all that fun stuff, and I'll be like, help Sadie with that. And then like I'll be like, hey, this is open. You can dump here. You can do this. I'll help my hitters. I can just be the second eyes on the court.
And your girls go 2 and 3 at Tonganoxie, some tough Eastern Kansas competition up there. But the difference this time is an overnight stay. Sadie, how big does staying in a hotel the night before and getting up early impact?
I don't think it was staying in the hotel. For me personally, it didn't really affect me. I wish we would have had that extra day of practice, but I don't think it was a make or break on how we played. And, I mean, obviously we're used to getting up early, and I think staying overnight gave us an opportunity to sleep more, to give us more rest. So I feel like it was a good thing.
And we're here with junior Sadie Spray and Lauryn Davis. Lauryn, you got to play some libero this weekend. Maybe some people don't know what that is. It's easy to see with the different colored jersey. Kind of what's the role as a libero?
As a libero, I noticed you can see the entire court. Like, you can see everything that's open. You can see the hole in the block. And being in the right back position, I can't see as much of that. And it was really fun to be able to step up and play the libero position. It was something very new. It was uncomfortable, but I did a lot better than I expected I would do.
She rocked it.
Rocked the world.
And this weekend, Great Bend beat both Kansas City Turner and the other Kansas City team 2 sets. Falls to Ottawa, falls to Blue Valley Southwest, a tough team that's not ranked but is a good 6A team. And then closed it out with a 2-set loss to number 9 Tonganoxie in 4A. And you girls get more competition tough at home. You guys just beat Felda Hutchinson. They're coming back for the tournament this weekend. Once again, how fun to have a busy week at home this week, Sadie.
I love playing at home, especially since we've been gaining support from the school and from our community. More people are starting to come and watch, and I think that's a really good thing. And, with Hutch coming back, I feel like with more games we've played, we're more prepared, and we know what to do since we've seen them again, and I feel like we could get the win this time.
And Lauryn, tournament play versus dual play. You guys have a duel tomorrow against Dodge City tournament play. What's the difference as a player playing in a duel versus a tournament on the weekend?
I feel like a duel, you just go out and play. But, like, in a tournament, you have to, like, understand that you're playing 5 games maybe that day. So you have to push yourself to work even harder, even if you're tired. But, like, in a duel, you're at your top level of play. You should be at your top level of play the entire duel.
And then, Sadie, I always think volleyball is very momentum-based. How important to play maybe 2 or 3 games in a row in a tournament versus having a bunch of time to sit down?
Well, especially if you're hot, like if you win your one or two first games, then you want to keep going even if you're tired because you have that adrenaline still going in you and you have that momentum and you want to stay on top. But like we ended up having a break in the Tongi tournament, and I think that might have also slowed us down a little bit, just having that break. I mean, we definitely needed it, but it definitely affected how we played the next game, I think.
All right, Lady Panthers at home tomorrow against Dodge. C-Team and JV starts at 4, varsity at 5:30. And then the big tournament this weekend. Sadie, Lauryn, thanks for coming in. More Sports Day after this.
From the Mail Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
It's Katie from Harper Camperland. New models and floor plans are rolling in every day, so now's the time to come take a look before they're gone. Harper Camperland is your premier dealer for Grand Design, Jayco, and Cherokee with the largest inventory in the state. Even better, we'll be there for you after the sale with our award-winning customer service, with 2 locations to serve you better, in Great Bend and Park City. And don't forget to visit us online at hclrv.com.
Follow your dreams to Harper Camperland.
better than getting a new iPhone? Also getting an Apple Watch on us with 1 month free service. You heard that right. At Next Tech Wireless, you can get an Apple Watch on us with a month of free cellular service when you buy a new iPhone. Come visit us at a location near you or call or text at 877-621-2600 for more information. Next Tech Wireless. We are Kansas. Hey, you want to hear some good news? Venture Corporation is still hiring for laborers, flaggers, equipment operators, CDL A and B drivers, and mechanics. And if you're ready to make some money, call Leslie at Venture. Thought about getting your CDL? Venture will train the right candidate. Higher starting wages, on-the-job training, excellent benefits, and you get paid for traveling throughout the state. Venture Corporation on South Highway 281 in Great Bend is an equal opportunity employer. Venture Corporation, homegrown, family-owned.
Man, how can you afford gas for that big SUV? I pay less for gas than everyone else. I got the free Get Upside Gas app and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time I buy gas. Hold on. You're getting up to 25 cents off a gallon with the free Get Upside Gas app while I'm paying full price? You know it. People earned over $1 million last year. You just got to take a picture of your gas receipt and bam, up to 25 cents a gallon cash back. You don't have to tell me twice. I'm downloading the free Get Upside Gas app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code LOVE for a 25-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next tank. Just download the free Get Upside app at the App Store or Google Play and use promo code LOVE. Save money on gas on every fill-up. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code LOVE. That's LOVE. Visit getupside.com for terms.
It's time to head to Tiger Town to talk Fort Hays State Tiger sports with the voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wellbrock, on Sports Day.
Welcome back, Sports Day. Steve Webster and Mike Hesher in studio right now. Wait, if you're going to put the headphones on, people think, that I made you push your mic up against there. No, that's not the case at all. If you want to talk, you can. It's all right, Mike. It's okay. Wait, I got to turn your mic up there. Okay.
I don't want to talk because you make fun of me when I do.
Golly.
But we have something from Ted King that I'll use later against him.
Okay, very good. Gerard, tell him that he can talk if he wants. I don't control that.
You could talk, Mike. I'd love to hear you talk.
Thank you, Gerard. I appreciate that.
Just ignore Steve. I made a career of it.
Well, we're like an old married couple at this point. So it's kind of
yeah, I can see that.
A divorced married couple, I'm telling you that right now. Gerard Wellbrock joining us right now. Man, Tigers fall 25-24. That one hurt, Ger.
5 fumbles, 5 lost fumbles, 7 total fumbles. That's pretty much the game recap. Fort Hays doesn't turn it over. They win that game by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Wow. I mean, they really played well. That's the sad part. You leave the stadium obviously frustrated in a game like that, and you go back and start looking at it. It's like probably the best game they played. I mean, defense, other than the long drive at the end, played some of their most physical football. Offense moved the ball. A fumble at the 1, a fumble at the 8, another one at about the 23. You score anything on those. I mean, it would have been a dominant win, and how the whole feel of the season has changed. So, it was just frustrating. But obviously, you can't turn it over. Northwest turns it over 4 times, they get beat. I mean, MIAA is too good to have that many turnovers in one game. I don't remember seeing one quite like that.
That's been the I guess the trait of Chris Brown coach teams. They don't beat themselves, and man, that's very uncharacteristic of the Tiger teams we've seen here in recent years.
I went back before the season. They had 13 takeaways last year, which was their fewest since 2005. They're usually around 19, 20. Some, and the years are really good. They have like a, +7, +8, +10 turnover margin. They're near the bottom of that and were again last year. They haven't created as many turnovers, and now this year, unfortunately, they are turning it over. And Coach even said, I mean, he really preached playing physical, and I think the team responded. And some of those turnovers may be, a couple times running backs you see it a lot, try to make that extra yard or two, just give that extra effort, which it's hard to fault but that's when the ball comes out, and that happened on at least 3 for sure where that happened. So it's unfortunate, and I think this week it's been more of a try to build everybody back, emphasize the positives, because there were a lot other than the turnovers at the end of those possessions.
Gerard Wellbrock with us. So the Tigers need to get a win, and it won't be easy. They need to go to Kearney, Nebraska to take on the Lopers. So I always ask you these questions, then I realized, okay, well, let's see, that was 2002. It's been so I remember the game that we were up there at that old stadium. Do they have a new stadium, or what's the deal?
Well, it's the same location. They've just remodeled. The seats are the same. They've redone the press box, basically, and they've redone the seating, and there's a new locker room facilities in the north end zone, but it's on the same location. So it's the same stadium. It's just been remodeled.
Okay, so it's the snowstorm game where I had a sweatshirt sticking out the window with a crowd mic inside. It was the best crowd mic I've ever had.
No, we don't have to worry about that. It's actually climate controlled. It's pretty nice press box, actually.
Yeah, Richard Funkhauser, the Burlington Bulldozer.
There you go.
And Damon Rivera. They just ran the ball, and that was Brian Maring's famous bootleg where he's wide open, and it took him 16 seconds to go.
23 minutes.
Yeah, okay, tell me about Kearney.
They're good. TJ Davis, he's a quarterback. He was a Harlan Hill runner-up. One of 2 quarterbacks to throw for 2,000, run for 1,000 a year ago. He's dynamic. Last year, the Tigers did a good job of containing him, and then I think Kearney panicked a little bit when Fort Hays got rolling offensively, and Fort Hays had that great comeback from 21 down twice to win last year, but he's good. And when he came to Kearney, he was a great runner, and I think he's a kid who'll have a chance at the NFL, maybe a receiver, maybe on defense. He's so dynamic, but he's become a much better passer, and that's what's scary because his first couple of years, I mean, you could sell out trying to keep him from running, and if he threw it, you take your chances. Can't do that anymore. So it's going to be a challenging game for a young Tiger defense against a guy like that. But they had success, and he's just. But I mean, Fort Hays has faced a few dual threat quarterbacks, none to the caliber of T.J. Davis. He's really good. He'll be a finalist, I think, for the Harlan Hill. Although this year his touchdown to turnover interception rate's 4-3, so it was much better a year ago and even the year before that. So he's turned it over a few more times this season. Hopefully something the Tigers can exploit and maybe take advantage Saturday night.
Interesting looking at the MIAA standings. Pittsburgh is up there now 4-0, and then Missouri Southern, that stands out 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Kearney's 3-1. Northwest is 3-1. Washburn is 3-1. So, yeah, the Tigers have a lot of work to do to move up in the standings. But, yeah, those standings look a little bit different at the top right now.
And they do, and everybody's just beating each other up, and it's always that way, and that's where Saturday is just even more painful. You win that game, Northwest loses, you still have Pitt on your schedule, and they've got some games that are, they're going to be tough. They play Southern this week. That'll be interesting to see, and that's been pretty tight. Even though Southern's been down, they've battled Pitt pretty tough. You were right there in the thick of things. I'd be if someone goes through undefeated and Pitt's the only one left, I'd be shocked. I just think there's too much parity, and everybody's pretty good in the MIAA this year. So you're actually, I think, in a really nice spot and chance to gain some momentum. And I think Fort Hays is kind of going with the mantra. I mean, you got to remember what you did wrong and correct the mistakes, but it's a 7-game season. Let's flush out what happened in the first 4. We know we're better than that, and finish it strong, see what happens, and go from there. So we'll see if they can do that. But yeah, the next 2 weeks you have Kearney on the road, and you have Washburn at home. Two really tough ones, but you have to have a short memory in this game, as everybody knows.
Does the MIAA get credit? I mean, for their tough schedule and the league, everybody's pretty good. Do they get credit, in your opinion, when it comes to making the postseason?
No, they don't. I don't think they do in any sport. That's the disappointing. We see it in basketball all the time. Teams get left out, and I think it's more. I mean, Fort Hays is 1-3, and I guarantee you, when coaches are watching film, they don't want to play Fort Hays. It's like, boy, they put it together and quit turning it over and just do a few things here or there. They're going to be a tough team to beat, and there's a lot of teams just like that, other than, just a handful. And Missouri Southern used to be one of those, and they're not anymore. I mean, you look at their games, they gave Kearney a battle to the very end. They don't. Unfortunately, sometimes it's wins, and you can be in a lesser conference. You can rack up wins, and I know there's formulas for all that. But, I mean, we see it in basketball a lot. I don't think if you're a deep conference, I think it hurts you in the end. But that's the way it is, and I don't see it changing anytime soon.
All right, Gerard, before we let you go today, kind of an update on some of our area kids that are in the Tiger program right now.
Miles Benja's doing a great job, the Claflin product. He's D-end, and he doesn't have the stats he did, but you look at Fort Hays State's defense, it's geared for linebackers. If the front four are doing their job, the linebacker's going to get a lot of tackles. So I think his stat line is going to drop, but you can tell he's getting more comfortable. And a lot of times they were playing 3 D-ends in there to take advantage of their size and athleticism. Tell you a guy who's having a good year, Mason Perez out of Lauryn. He had to play a lot last year. I don't think he was ready as a freshman. His body wasn't there, but you can see a difference. He's thickened up. He had maybe his best game, certainly one of them. He had 8 tackles, blocked a punt for a touchdown, and recovered it in the end zone. I just think he's going to be really, really good before he's done. And you can see he's finally, I think, maybe comfortable with the speed of the game. And now that and you can tell the year of weights, he's caught up there, and now physically he feels he can play. I'm excited about him, and he's done a good job. So those are the ones that kind of stand out right now, and we'll just they keep plugging away. A lot of other guys doing some special teams, and I think their time is coming if they just stick with it and keep getting better. But those two particular on the defensive side of the ball, I think they're playing really, really well.
Okay, Gerard Wellbrock, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers, with us today. Mike Hesher, your mic is open, so go ahead.
I have no questions for Gerard.
Okay. No questions from Mike at the mic?
How's the attitude? I mean, how are the coaches?
I think good. I think it's still good. I mean, we actually got to talk to Mason Perez yesterday a little bit, and he just said they're eager to get better. I mean, I think that it is. It's such a young team. I think they want to do well. They know the reputation and what the program's been, but sometimes you just got to go through it, and you forget how young they are. And they're still beat up. They're going to get a few more back this Saturday, which should help a little bit, hopefully. But it's just, sometimes when you're young, it's a process, and they just need to keep grinding. But I think the attitude's good. But at some point, you got to fix those mistakes, and until they do that, it's going to be a struggle.
It's interesting when you talk about Mason Perez. Now he feels he can compete physically. He was a stud in high school. I think that's kind of the message. What level does Fort Hays State play at? Mason Perez would probably be a good guy to look at, because I thought he was college ready when he left, But
and I think a lot of it was the body. You could just see now when he walks in. I mean, he's just thicker, and I think the skills were there. You're exactly right. But now physically, you can just tell it probably leads to confidence when you know that. And so it's fun to watch. But you're right. You got to be pretty good.
Okay, so what's the eating schedule when you go to Kearney?
Well, I don't know if anybody else in the car is going to care, but we're going to stop at Runza for sure.
You go to Runza. That's what I was going to ask.
Yes, I'm a Runza fan. I do. And and basketball, a lot of times it doesn't work out because they close at 10. And you just don't get out quick enough. And so we're definitely going to be able for football to work it in.
Runza. Yeah, I've tried it. I tried it again last summer. It's just
it's hitting. It's either you're all in or you hate it. It's one of those things. I'm all in. I hope the other guys going are all in. I don't really care at this point because we're stopping at Runza.
I'm glad that you've taken on that Captain Gurr thing about the food.
Well,
that's where'd you learn that from? I don't know.
I wonder where that came from.
We just didn't eat, man.
Well, that's probably it too.
All right, Gert. Hey, we'll talk to you next week. Great conversation.
It's a pleasure, guys.
All right, Gerard Wellbrock with us here on Sports Day.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
There's nothing like A-STEM therapy. This is Tim Marcus from Progressive Physical Therapy in Hayes. Research shows A-STEM therapy improves muscle performance and neural functioning. It's highly effective for those dealing with tennis elbow, carpal tunnel, sports injuries, and general aches and pains.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
This is Barton Community College Athletic Director Trevor Rolfs. Barton Athletic Department is proud to sponsor Sports Day on KVG. a show that showcases all of our high school student athletes in central Kansas, some whom will continue their educational and athletic future with us here at Barton. We're excited about the fall sports season that is now underway and invite you to attend a game or a match and experience the rich tradition of Cougar athletics. For complete schedules and results, visit bartonsports.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Welcome back to Sports Day here on KVGB. We're going to get a lot of great sponsors. Of course, our show brought to you exclusively by Barton Community College, where you can earn a certificate or associate degree while in high school. Learn more at gobarton.com. When we brought this show back, it's a great opportunity to talk sports. I'd like for you to jump on board. Be an advertiser with us here on the program. That way, we won't have to go through a year sabbatical sometime coming up. But Advanced Therapy and Sports Medicine, Kevin Sapezi, really appreciate it. Next Tech, also on board here on the program. And again, the Barton Athletic Department and Barton Community College. Mike Hesher with some breaking news here.
Well, special thanks to Patrick Burnett, as Great Bend High School has announced on Twitter, which everything is announced on Twitter now.
It's Tweeter.
Tweeter, I'm sorry.
They went to their Tweeter machine.
Okay. Great Bend High School has selected Clara Gilbert as the new head swim coach. Gilbert is currently the assistant swim coach at Barton Community College with her husband, Matt. Before moving to Great Bend, she coached at Rocky Mountain Rapids Swim Club and Pine Creek High School. She's a graduate, it looks like, of Fresno Pacific, where she was a national champion in 2012. And before attending at Fresno Pacific, which I'm assuming is in California, she was a national record holder in Israel and competed in many international events. So welcome aboard Clara Gilbert to the Great Bend High School family and the new swim coach at GBHS.
Very nicely done.
I made it up.
I've never heard you. No, that's okay. Very nice. Okay. NCAA put Memphis on 3 years of probation with a public reprimand. And while declining to punish Tigers coach Penny Hardaway. Now, this comes from the IARP. It's not AARP. It's the Independent Accountability Review Panel. Now, this was only their second decision, with cases involving LSU, Arizona, Kansas, and Louisville still on the group's docket. North Carolina men's basketball also put on probation in the IARP's first decision in December of 2021. It took like 10 years to get that. Derek Crawford, who's the NCAA vice president for hearing operations, said decisions on the remaining 4 cases will come by early summer 2023 at the latest, since the IARP is coming to an end. So, aren't you, I guess it's not court, but don't you have a right to a speedy trial?
Obviously not with that, you don't know.
It's like a big cloud out there waiting for but, who knows? Maybe they could get through to next summer before the final decision comes. I just wish you'd find out one way or the other.
And one of the unintended consequences of live streaming is the chat. And Ted King made the comment about you that you needed maybe a little more work at the hair and makeup department. So just think of that.
Well, Ted's right, but, if you put us side to side, it would be like a rotten pumpkin contest.
Well, you asked for it, Ted. What can I say?
I'll bring my high school football picture in here Monday. I'm going to display it.
Okay. Front and center.
Then you'll say, God, time takes its toll. Talk to you Friday.
This is Agriculture Today. I'm Samantha Bennett with the K-State Radio Network. Ahead of us on this Wednesday's program, we start with K-State and Washburn University School of Law professor Roger McOwen. He provides an ag law update on the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is set to expire in 2026. Also ahead, Jack Fry, K-State professor and commercial turf extension specialist, discusses a new variety of turf that K-State has played a key role in helping develop over the course of the last decade. We round out today's program with the Beef Cattle Institute's Ask the Experts, where K-State experts Brad White, Brian Luber,